Hello. This paper was written for a human sexuality course in a graduate program, and it's by request. And it looks at gender and sexual development more from a Jamaican Canadian perspective, so looking at the Jamaican Canadian cultures. The continent of Africa is my homeland and the place of my ancestors. I have never traveled to the African continent, yet through heritage, culture, genetics, and literature, I have a strong connection. Jamaica is the country of my birth and the place I call home. There I was taught the importance of spirituality, family, and community. Jamaican culture accounts for the most formative years of my life, that being from birth to age 13. As a child, my views on gender and sexual development was shaped by Judeo-Christian and African-Jamaican values, beliefs, and traditions. Namely, one's gender was a matter of genital fact. That's by Van de Ven, the source, and that was in 2007. And sexuality meant only heterosexuality. I was never taught otherwise. From age 13 to the present, I consider myself as an African Caribbean daughter who immigrated to Canada and became a citizen and settler on Indigenous land. The Canadian culture, with its diverse domains, although deceptive and restrictive at times, introduced concepts of gender identity beyond genitalia and sexuality that is inclusive to the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, transsexual, and intersex, just to name a few. It is therefore not unimaginable that I have incorporated the essence of my Afro-Caribbean and Canadian experiences to improve my relationship as they relate to gender and sexual development issues because of the richness of my cultural heritage, which includes all that I have experienced and learned. These attributes will continue to influence the way I live, appreciate, and respond to others. The purpose of this paper is to first demonstrate self-awareness and influences of one's gender and sexual development. Second, to illustrate appreciation for the diverse sexuality of others. Third, to discuss the ways in which one's experiences of gender and sexuality have been influenced by dominant cultural and familial values and expectations, as well as alternative and other cultural influences. Fourth, Woven throughout this paper is the use of theoretical constructs that highlight influences of gender and sexual development. Fifth will be a dialogue that seeks to examine my developmental courses within Jamaican and Canadian cultures. One's awareness of gender and sexual development is the first topic for discussion. The values and beliefs of Judeo-Christian and African Jamaican values dominated my life and experiences in Jamaica. Discussions of gender and sexual development were not a part of the social discourse. It was assumed that a child was a girl because she had a vagina. Similarly, it was assumed that a child was a boy because he had a penis and testicles. Symbolically, men wore pants and girls wore dresses and skirts. Also, boys worked in the fields with their fathers, while girls together with their mothers took care of the home. It was a heteronormative, socially constructed discourse. And the source for that is Butler in 1990. As a child, I was unable to locate terminologies of repression, oppression, or privilege within daily discussions. Instead, Sunday and 3 evenings throughout the week was spent in church. Church was a place where theoretical theology was introduced. Bible stories represented historical places and people who were beyond the scope of my reach. The church represented faith, spirituality, and safety. I have discovered that without religiosity, spirituality can have meaning and purpose. I like the theory of spirituality because it focuses on a subconscious sense of self. The source for that is Barrett, 2009. Therefore, because spirituality is an examination of the soul, this theory places emphasis on spiritual awareness and psychological development. It further addresses innate human natures such as hope, forgiveness, courage, confidence, and faith. Similarly, cognitive development theory speaks to experiences that are subjective and intuitive. Source Cartwright, 2001. Therefore, the discussion of human development as it relates to my experiences is a marriage between spiritual development theory and cognitive development theory. These two theoretical frameworks provided the human connections between personal constructs of gender and sexuality in relation to faith and social experiences. The end of part 1.